I wanted to take the time to make a little informal review of the Walimex Aptaris Pro camera cage. It's designed for small DSLRs and mirrorless cameras like the GH3 and GH4. And I've had this for over a year now. The first year I used it exclusively on my GH3. This is it on a GH4 right here. And I took this time to do this review now because I always felt like this cage was not quite complete, and it really wasn't. When I first got this cage, it didn't have a proper quick release shoe. No, the first year I used it, or a year or so I used it kind of like this. I'm just going to stick it on here. You can see this configuration I have right here is intended for tripod use, and that's what I used it. I never used it in hand, so I can't really comment about that. I'm not sure you can see here, but right now, when the Aptaris cage comes to you, it doesn't really have a quick release shoe. And I'm just gonna, right now, it comes with the shoe that's on it. Whoops, I'm realizing my head's out of the way here. But it comes with a shoe that's a very peculiar size. It looks like a Arca Swiss, but it's not Arca Swiss. It's much bigger than that. It seems similar in size to the Gitzo quick release plates, but it won't fit in a Gitzo quick release ball head. It won't fit anything. So when I used it without that, and I screwed another quick release plate onto the bottom, which is not a great setup because it's not, the screw is not in the center, because the center screw is actually going up through the camera. So it has to be offset, and it's offset in the quick release plate, so the thing is tilted. And that might sound petty to you, but it never sat quite straight, and it really just bothered me. Just seemed really cheesy. And initially when I got it, and so what I did in this case is I finally got around to buying the Aptaris adapter plate that allows you to put on a proper a proper quick release plate in the right place. But now, if you take a look at that, I've got a quick release plate here, the Aptaris adapter plate, the Aptaris quick release plate, and then I've got the cage. So you got a number of things in there, which it doesn't seem very pro to me. It seems pretty solid. I don't see any give in it. It's still not a great setup. I guess I'm happier with it than the way it was before. At least the camera sits straight. The other thing I did recently is, because I have a GH4 now, and like many people looking at the GH4 and then I can deal with the mini HDMI. Mini HDMI is not great, but it's not, I operated and I never had a problem. This micro HDMI, holy cow, that makes me very nervous. So I stuck on, Aptaris makes this cable clamp to kind of secure the micro HDMI cable, and I'm not really crazy about that. I'm just going to take it off here for a second and show you. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this from where the camera is sitting right here, but it kind of messes up the handle. Now, I'm not shooting it like, I would never shoot it like this, because with the Atomos recorder in this kind of situation, it's especially with these big batteries, it's kind of precarious, but still handling the camera and moving it around, I'm not really crazy about this. I do like the fact that these knobs stick out, so that you can, wrap the extra cable around and secure it, which is kind of nice. And I think there's no way anything is going to pull on it. It's not really protected, but at least nothing's going to pull the cable out. What I'm going to show you right now is this system on the bottom, and I will get a little closer with the camera so you can get a better look at this. So here's the adapter or the cable restraint here, and you can decide for yourself whether you think that's, it doesn't look really well thought out, and it certainly does interfere with its ability with the handle here. Caleb Pike has a really good review of this, and I don't disagree with a lot of what he says, but some of the things, like here, he says there's tons of mounting points, and I have to disagree. Take a look at the top there. Think about what you're going to attach. Like right now I have two rails on here, one for the handle, which I don't very often use, and while I'm on the handle, I'm going to mention that the handle does not have any more holes in it, which a lot of handles do, which could have been handy. And I've got a cold shoe here, which I use for the microphone. But just think, if I have this Atomos recorder on here, and what else am I going to stick on here? Well, I did have at one time, in one show, I had to attach, normally the microphone on here is really only for scratch audio. It's just audio to help me get a good audio sync. Now, in one occasion, I had the Atomos recorder, and I had a DR60 on this side here, and one of the things you'll take a look at here, these holes across here, they don't have any threads in them. They're not proper 1/4 20s. Like, what were they thinking? I could have used those. You can't really use these here, because once you stick a magic arm in here and you get some weight on it, it wants to spin on that screw. Well, the way I worked around it in this case, I had the DR60 at the bottom, then the Atomos recorder on the top, and I hung them all from the top off an arm off the top, so it was all hanging off one side. It did look kind of strange. It did It essentially did the job, but I wasn't crazy on it. That setup, I'm going to take off the cold shoe or the quick release plate on here. The quick release plate on here right now is designed for this gear head, and I love the gear head. It's got a a photography kind of cold shoe on it, which of course nobody's crazy about, but gear heads are terrific. So here is this setup here. And let me just take this off. Okay, so this is that quick release plate. I'll call it a quick release plate that Aptaris or Walimex puts on here, and it's not a Arca Swiss or whatever. So they came up with this idea that they would put this kind of plate, and it sort of grabs this. There's kind of a dove here on both sides, so you can put this here and there and squeeze it on. But instead of making this the full size of the plate, which would contribute to its strength and stability, they decided to kind of just make it a single bar like that. Now, this bar is very thick and heavy, and it's very strong, but think about what it would have been like had it been the full size. It would have been, I mean, I got to applaud that they put 2 3/8 and 3 quarter 20s on there, so you could have locking pins or whatever you want. That's a good thing, but otherwise it's not 100%. It seems to me, well, Walimex does have a new cage out. It costs more than this one does. And I tell you the truth, I'm not going to get rid of this. I'm not entirely happy with it. But I've got enough invested in here. I don't, why is this thing not coming off here? There it goes. And you can see the exact reason why this thing is offset, because there's the center screw right there that goes directly in the camera, and that lines up with your lens. And that's where you want your quick release plate to attach. Well, that's not going to work out with this kind of setup. I don't know just how much better it is on the new Aptaris setup, but the new Aptaris, Walimex Aptaris, what do they call it? It's a new one. It has essentially this structure out both sides, which, I don't know, maybe that would be a good thing. If it wasn't for this crazy cable release, this is a very nice, comfortable grip here. I haven't really done any shooting like that, but without this crazy cable thing here, and of course, this doesn't come on and off quickly or easily. I mean, you get a couple screws, you gotta take it off. Anyway. I think the build quality is really good. It's made out of really high quality aluminum. It's functional. But would I buy it again? No, probably not. But I will sort of keep up with it. I'm going to look forward to a season of shooting this again on as my wide shots. As you heard in my, perhaps you heard in my other video that I tried using this as 2 cameras at once, essentially a wide shot and then panning and zooming with that. I'm not sure that's a great idea, but certainly, though, as a wide shot, this is gets great results. I'm very impressed with the quality of the footage coming out of this as a wide shot. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you found this useful. Stay tuned.